This shit is like acting retarded. Fuck it, I'm playing the intro.
It was me, Reggie Bucum,
The podcast is activated, bitch.
All right, but I'm just saying, don't knock it.
Listen, they call me to Muhammad. Of course,
That is why I hit potholes.
All right, wait.
I had to think about it for a minute. One of the things that grinds me up.
It's great. We just standing there like I'm sorry. Like we live in fucking Philadelphia. Like he lost a football game for the team and shit. Like he fumbled at the 4.
You said like Reggie Bucum, like Bucum. Reggie Bucum.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the Reggie Bucum Podcast. Man, I am your boy Meech Castro. It's my guy Pete right there, man, doing this thing. Welcome to another installment. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us, man, and rocking with us. Happy New Year, Pete. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Happy New Year.
New Year to all our listeners. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Want to remind y'all to please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your notifications on. Forgot about that too. Don't forget to turn your notifications on. And you know what I mean, so you can catch every episode and every time we go live like this. How's your New Year's been so far, Pete? You know what I mean? How's everything been going?
It's been going pretty good, man. I hate that I wasn't on the pod the last two episodes, but I was traveling that day to Florida.
Right.
I was listening to the pod.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, look, that's the whole reason is at least that's how, I mean, that's the whole reason it's three of us. You feel me? So
yeah, but it was good, man. It was good. I went to an Orlando Magic game with my pops and them.
Orlando Magic. I'm sorry, I remember the Orlando Magic when I was a kid. Orlando Magic when they first came out.
That was like their little theme song or something.
Yeah, like that was like the their little song they had, I guess, to promote the Orlando Magic. Remember, it was an expansion team. So
that's right. It
was an expansion team when they first got Shaq and whatnot. So yeah, but that's I always remember that every time I think of the Magic. Orlando Magic, like I don't know.
They have a young team, man, but shit, they were balling.
Yeah, they always have ever since like the days of, I'm gonna say McGrady. Since the days of T-Mac, they always had a young team that
young team, yeah.
You know what I mean? Right, even though they had the white and they were going through, you know, that building around him and trying to win, and they went to a finals and everything else, it still was a young team.
Yeah, for sure. I watched I didn't know Manute Bol's kid was on that team.
Bull. Let me tell you something.
I watched him hit a few three. I think he hit 3 or 4 threes that night. I had no idea.
Bull can take it coast to coast.
I had no idea.
He can dribble at C7'4".
I know.
He can dribble. He can do a bunch of shit. Dude is nice. He just needs a chance and an opportunity to develop, I think.
Even if he could just put on like another 20 pounds, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But Young Bull was nice, man. They had a couple nice young boys on there.
Yeah, Bull's pretty good. I believe Greg Anthony's son is on that team, Cole Anthony. They got Jonathan Isaacs down there. They have who else they got on Orlando? I can't think of nobody else, but they got a pretty good team, man.
Yeah,
they're solid.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Markelle Fultz was still playing. But
Markelle Fultz is down there. That's what the Sixers traded him to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I knew they traded him there, but I figured he was out the league by now.
Oh no,
he's starting for Orlando, but
he's doing pretty good down there.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He's doing good.
Yeah, he is. No, he is. Because of course, you know, like after I left the game, I was looking stuff up in the car. Man, they got a good young team, man. That's for sure. But they were playing the Spurs, so it was just like.
That's another young team kind of in the rebuilding stage after all that greatness with the three guys, you know what I mean? So we also want to appreciate y'all tuning in. We're having issues right now with Facebook, and I think it's an issue with Facebook, so we're not streaming on Facebook right now. We're just streaming on YouTube.
YouTube.
But we want to, YouTube, like I'm from Baltimore. We want to, or Baltimore. But we want to invite y'all to join the conversation in the live chat on YouTube. Don't hesitate to jump in and chime in, give us your opinion on whatever we're talking about, and we'll throw it up on the screen. Because we want everybody to feel included. We definitely, we want this to be like a big conversation, type platform. So
yeah,
we want you guys to be involved as well, and all that good stuff. So
how were your holidays?
My holidays was pretty cool. On vacation from work, spent time with family. It was pretty cool. It's a nice little break that we needed. I never got that long off from school before. So
yeah,
it was a nice break. Definitely a nice break. Yesterday was the first day the kids came back to school. We went back on Tuesday. So, but yeah, it wasn't bad.
That's cool.
You ready to jump right in?
Just jump in, man.
Oh shit! Yeah, listen. I'm excited, bro.
Why?
I'm excited because, man, I'm excited. Because we're just back. Like, you know what I mean? I look forward to doing these shits every week, bro.
Back in full force.
Yeah, I think doing this, at least for me, doing this is very therapeutic.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic for me too. So
all right, so yeah, it ain't just me, but we're gonna jump right in. So we got this idiot, right? I call him an idiot. This guy named Grant Cardone. I'm not too familiar with this guy, but I think he's like a public speaker or something of the sort. You feel me?
Right.
But he made a statement at one of his little seminars or whatever it was, and he said, "You should be ashamed as a husband and as a father if you make $400,000 a year or less."
Oh gosh.
And and y'all in the comments, man, if y'all have any, like I said, if y'all have any comments, please put them in there. You know what I mean? Hey, Angie. What's up, Angie?
What's up, Angie? What's going on, Angie Bopski?
Yeah, sorry we ain't got your theme music this week.
We ain't got the stream deck back yet.
We ain't got your theme music this week, but we love you.
Let me wrap you. What the? Nah, that's the intro. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so,
Angie, you came in at the perfect time. All right, let's go, Meech.
But so this guy Grant Cardone, he came, in one of his seminars, he was like, if you make $400,000 a year, you should be ashamed of yourself as a father and a husband. And he was like, he doesn't see how people can live on just, $400,000 a year. And I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like,
what does this guy do?
I feel like, you ever see the Westbrook meme when he's getting interviewed in the locker room? And it's like OKC days, and he's like, what? What are you talking about, man? Like, that's how I felt. Like, what? You can't, who can't live off $400,000 a year? So
what does this guy do for a living? Who is he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Grant Cardone, I'm gonna have to look him up.
Probably born into a very wealthy family.
I probably should have,
right?
But like I said, I think he's I want to say he's a real estate entrepreneur. That's what they got him labeled as. He's 64 years old. Yeah, he's definitely a real estate entrepreneur. He's definitely looked like he's a plastic surgery type of guy.
First of all, he's full of shit. Number one, he don't even believe that. Number one, I think the guy.
The dude said he does not see how you can live off $400,000 a year.
I think. Well, he's full of shit. I think he's full of shit. And you know what? He's gonna sell a bunch more tickets to his next event because he said that dumb shit.
Probably is.
Probably is. Yeah. So, but also, if that guy's got kids and you ask his kids how they feel about him, they probably think he's a piece of shit.
Either that or they just don't value him. They value what he brings.
What he brings,
you know
exactly.
What I
Yeah.
mean?
That's a person that was born in with money and has no idea what it's like to ever be hungry or to struggle.
So
or anything.
his net worth is $600 million.
Yeah, he was born into a rich a wealthy family, most likely.
So,
or at least
while we're talking about it, I'm gonna look at more information on him. But go ahead.
He's either born into a rich family, or he was born into a well-off family that didn't have to struggle at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's that. But also, yeah. And go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, it's just weird to me because you have people out here that are living paycheck to paycheck. You have people out here, saving up, and the way the economy is right now, and we just went through a pandemic. People didn't have jobs. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot going on, and people were losing their homes. I remember seeing during the pandemic. I remember seeing a bunch of stuff on the news about landlords giving people extensions and shit like that on their rent and mortgage, and different banks and all. It was all over the news. And Angie I know Angie remembers. Angie works for a bank, but they're giving people extensions, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, and creating laws and shit like that for people so they won't lose their homes and everything else. And then you got this guy coming on here talking about, if you don't make $400,000, you should be ashamed of yourself as a father and a husband. And you like, and then as a black man, you're like, look at this white guy talking this bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm gonna say something. It's gonna sound cruel, but it's the truth. A guy like that, if he lost everything, he would want himself.
If he would
kill himself.
If he lost everything and only had $400,000 in his bank account, he would kill himself.
He would kill himself for real, because people like that don't know how to live outside of that realm. They don't at all. I heard a guy on a tour bus one time was telling me that through his church or his father's church or something, they met this guy, right, who was really wealthy, like worth $40 million or something. Let's just throw that number out there.
Okay.
And he was talking to this guy's dad. The guy's telling me the story, and they were talking about wills. And he said, I'm only leaving $1 million for my 4 kids to split. And he was like, what do you mean? And he goes, everything else is going either to the church or to charities and this and that. My kids are gonna split $250,000 each. And he was like, really? He goes, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like one of my parents died, and got willing, it doesn't happen. But one of my parents died and they leave me $250,000. I mean, like,
yeah, but we're talking about kids that grew up in $1 million home, living that lifestyle, right? But here's what's dope, right? So the guy tells me that he was saying, basically, he said, look, I've been explaining this to my children for a very long time. I'm going to educate you well. I'm going to pay for everything, and we're going to go on vacations, and we're going to have a great time as a family. And the day that I die, if you're not set to live this lifestyle, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because I'm not raising brats in this world. He said he was telling his kids that all throughout their upbringing. I'm not going to raise you to be a brat. You're going to work for, I had to work for what I have, and you have to work for what you have. I've given you all the tools. And it's funny. I was telling, so the next day I'm telling somebody on the bus the story that the guy on the bus told me, and it turned into this whole thing. Like, what a piece of shit, this and that. And I'm like, bro, I kind of get what my man is saying, especially in this day and age where, you know what I'm saying? Like, younger people just feel like they're entitled to everything. I don't know. What do you think, Angie? I think that's a great way. It's a great message for a man to send to his kids. Like, you have to work in this life. If we lose everything, you at least you got your doctor's degrees, you got your master's degree. I already paid for all of that. Now you can go out there and live.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I feel like on one hand, you should be teaching them that coming up. You know what I mean? While you're raising them rich and everything else, you still should teach them the value of a dollar and how to be a hardworking person and go out and make your money. And shit is not just given to you. So you should be teaching them that through their childhood while they're growing up. That way, when they become adults, you know what I mean, they already have that instilled in them. That way, you don't have to only leave them $250,000. Like I understand where he's coming from, but if you would have did that as they're growing up and just didn't give them everything as $1 million kids.
No, but he was doing that. That's what I'm saying. He was doing all of that throughout their childhood, reminding them.
Like, so they should. Yeah, they should have that instilled in them already.
Yeah,
so
they're probably doctors and who knows what they're.
Yeah, but I don't think he should, because I just don't think he should give them $250,000 a piece. Don't get me wrong, it's not a little bit of money, but then give the rest to the church and charity. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with the church. It's the people in the church I don't trust.
Yeah. I get that. No, I totally get that. But this is a guy also that, apparently he was giving all this money to ministries in Africa and helping to build towns, and so dope shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, doing dope stuff. But I don't know. It's just that argument.
I hope to do.
Yeah.
Like pretty soon I'm about to start, regularly donating to like Wounded Warrior projects and shit like that.
That's dope. I like it.
Shit that hit home, you know what I mean?
I love it. These kids.
Things that need I feel like things that I should be supporting. You know what I mean? Me and Tiff were talking about donating to St. Jude, the Children's Hospital and shit like that. So
that's dope.
Yeah, but I don't think it's something that I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't have. I feel like you shouldn't leave all your money. Maybe it's the greedy person in me. I feel like you shouldn't leave all your money to charities and the church.
I'm sure the wife got a little something.
Right. I'm pretty sure she was taken care of.
But look what Shaq said when he took his kid to go buy a car, and the kid was like, "Oh, we can get a Tesla." He's like, "Nah, bro, you getting." You know what I mean? He said, "Well, we rich." He's like, "No, I'm rich." He's like, "You ain't rich.
You ain't rich."
I'm from
Jersey.
Right. I love that.
I mean? I grew up with Sarge, nigga. You ain't rich. I'm rich. But Shaq is a different type of guy. Like, Shaq was also the person who paid for like 10 friends to get degrees so he can, you know what I mean, take the class or some shit like that. I think it wasn't enough people to fill up the class, and he got like 10 friends and paid for all of them to get their degrees with him, and they all went to school together. But Angie said, "I love it. These kids don't know about hard work. They think they deserve the world." And she also said, "That's his money that he earned, and he honestly ain't got to give him shit."
Yeah, that's right.
Lucky they got the $250,000
and the education, the paid education, and all that. Like, you know what I mean? So
right.
He's right. It's like, I'm going to give you every
set them
tool
up
you
to make
need.
their own money though with the education and whatever they're doing as a profession. So
exactly, and that's the whole thing of teach somebody how to fish versus giving them the fish. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
That's I can see both sides of it. I guess
you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I can too.
So,
my bad. Not to cut you off. Here's a good point though, because I don't know these people. I'm just hearing this secondhand story. If he really was raising his kids like that the whole time, his kids probably could care less whether they got $250,000 or anything, right? They might already have that instilled in them since they were children, like he's saying. You know what I'm saying? If that was being instilled in them, when the time came, they probably didn't even care. They probably were like, "Great, it's gonna go to Africa and it's gonna go to Haiti and it's gonna go to some churches."
Like if that was my father and I did what I was supposed to do, that $250,000, I'll probably say 100. Probably. I'll probably say $200,000 goes in the savings. Take that 50 and kind of spoil myself or whatever.
Yeah,
but depends on. But you know what I mean. If you're doing what you're supposed to do and setting yourself up, that should already. You feel me?
Yeah, it's not even an issue.
No, it shouldn't be an issue at all.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, to go back to that other thing, that dude he's. Yeah, the other side of that is that if you don't raise your kids like that and you have millions, you end up with the guy like that guy. Right. You know what I mean? They have it's like a lot of these politicians, they have no connection to the real world at all.
Right.
They're so they're so oblivious to what's really going on because everything is taken care of for them. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't,
free healthcare, millions of dollars. There's no connection to the real world.
You don't relate to your constituents, you know what I mean, or whatever they say, as far as the people that's voting for you and your supporters.
Yeah, the people you're supposed to serve.
You can't relate to them. You know what I mean? You can't relate to how they live day in and day out. That's why a lot of them, when they do run for office, they're on here talking about, you know, I was a Marine, and you know, I was in this community for 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, they all try to make themselves feel relatable because that's the person that everyone wants to vote for, and they want to vote for the guy they feel like they know. Yeah, you know what I mean? So Angie said, "Yep," and that $250,000 is more than enough to start a business if they want to, in order to build their own, you know, empire, wherever they want to sell, or you know what I mean, whatever business they want to start. And it's more than enough to start a business.
And their kids his kids are probably well off before he even dies.
That's what I'm saying. They're probably already making their own money, fucking doctors and whatever else.
Got properties and all kinds of shit.
But I don't know, it's just weird and something. It's something you would expect from a white guy like that that's 60 something years old.
Yeah. Go out there, earn it, kid.
Like, that was just but with Grant Cardone, that was a dumb statement. I feel like
that was a dumbass statement.
And everyone who listened to it and agreed and continues to go to his seminars or whatever it is, they're fucking dumb too, because you can't relate to this dude. Even if you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. If I'm making $400,000, like, do you know there's people in this world that are making $20-some thousand a year and still living?
Still living.
You know what I'm saying? Still living.
There's people in third world countries that make $5 a month.
God, you made me sound rich just now. $5 fucking a month.
For real, bro.
I believe it. But
shit,
damn.
Watch those Anthony Bourdain shows.
I'm not gonna lie, and it's kind of fucked up. So we're gonna use this to go into our next topic, even though it's not about our next topic. We're just gonna talk about this before we get into our next topic.
What's up?
I love going to poor ass tropical countries. For real, man. Like, I love going.
You know what that just reminded me of?
What?
In an insane loop of just sheer, I don't know whatness. I immediately, the moment you said that, I immediately thought about remember coming to America when they went to that apartment and they were like, hello, we seek MEGA accommodations. And he was like, you can have the place upstairs. It's real fucked up. Remember that? he had the cigar in his mouth.
Took him upstairs. Dude fell down the steps. Hey, Stu, you know, don't be pulling that. We say, no, hey, Stu,
the rent's due, motherfucker.
Don't be pulling that falling down the stairs shit on me, yeah? And stepped over the nigga. Yo, like,
and
this
then
nigga
the bull
just did that shit every month. Yeah.
My bad.
Yo, that shit had me fucking crying, man. Coming to America was, but yeah, I love going to like poor ass tropical countries, bro. Like, what's a poor ass tropical country I've been to?
I mean, Bahamas is
the Bahamas, Jamaica, Honduras, Belize.
Ooh, like, I want to go to Belize.
Belize is pretty cool, man.
That's cool.
I want to actually fly into a resort, because when I went to Belize, I was on a cruise.
Ah, okay.
And I want to actually fly into Belize, and you know what I mean, it's a different because the first time I went to like anywhere in the Caribbean, I went to the Bahamas. Okay. I was on a cruise, and when I went to Jamaica last year, we flew in, and I'd rather fly in somewhere and enjoy it rather than be on a cruise and have to get back on the ship and all. Like, I'm kind of cruised out. But
have you been on a bunch of cruises?
Maybe a handful or less.
Yeah, I've been on about a handful, like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think I did like maybe 3, 4, or 5 of them, maybe.
Yeah, I'm in that 5 to 7 range.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong, cruises are fun. If you ever been on a cruise or never been on a cruise, man, I definitely encourage you to go on a cruise. But Me personally, I'm all cruised out, but I love going like when I went to we went to Honduras, right? So we got this cab, and I told dude because every time I go somewhere, no matter where I go, I hate when people take me around like a fucking tourist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I go somewhere, I'm like, yo, take me to where, show me the real Honduras, like show me the real Belize City, like show me, you know what I mean, how people live here. And this, like, I love seeing how other people live in other countries because in some places, like Belize, it makes you appreciate the hoods in America. You know what I mean? So it definitely makes you appreciate the hoods in America because other people, that's why foreign people will come here and live in the hood with no problem because it's way better than what the fuck they come from with 10 huts and shit like that. Yep. So we get in the van, right? We're riding around. First of all, the cab driver apparently this motherfucker loved R. Kelly. or loves R. Kelly, right? He put in a mix CD with like he put in a mix CD in the van with like 30, 40 tracks, nothing but R. Kelly songs. Right?
Oh my God.
As he's driving us around, I gotta see if I still have the footage. As he's driving us around, I don't think I still have the footage. I think it's my old phone. But anyway, he's driving us around. He's singing along to the songs like at the top of his lungs.
Are you serious?
What? To the point where we're looking at each other like,
where is he taking us?
You know what I mean? So he just taking us around the city. He's showing us the shortest street in Belize. Like, this is the shortest street, you know what I mean, in Belize. And the street was literally
fun fact.
Yeah, right. So I said, hey man, you think you can give me some weed? He was like, yeah, I can get you some weed. So I gave him the money, and he like pulled up to this nigga on the corner, and we like in the hood. I'm looking at 10 huts around us and everything else.
Shit.
No, he couldn't sing. So no, he couldn't sing.
Could he sing?
He's taking us around. Like he pulled up to the street corner and he just got us some weed, and he gave me some papers to roll it. So I'm rolling the weed. So I'm rolling around Belize, smoking a blunt, or a little joint. And I'm rolling around in the back of the van. We smoking a little joint, and you know he's just showing us different parts of the city, where I think the president of Belize lived. Like he lived on a modest street, like next door to somebody. Like, you know what I mean?
Damn.
You know, just showed us around the city or whatever. It was a pretty dope little, you know, tour or whatever. But yeah, he like he was singing. I'm riding around smoking this joint in the back of the van, and this dude just singing R. Kelly at the top of his lungs. You know what I mean? So it was just funny. Just, you remind me of my G. I want to ride.
Oh my God.
Singing. So it's like yo, it was funny as shit. And I went to where did I go before too? I went to Honduras, and me and my great uncle were looking for weed. Like that's my souvenir. I don't want to buy no coffee cups. I don't give a fuck about no shot glasses. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm going to find marijuana in every country. But we find the weed, and the guy's like, yeah, you know, just follow me. So he goes to like the little building, I guess, where they're working out of, because he was a part of the excursions, and they were selling like ATV rentals and shit like that. Yeah. So he goes into the building where they're working out of. He comes out and he takes us. He said, I'm gonna take you to our smoke spot. So so he's walking in front of us, and me and my uncle are talking about. I was like, look, man, mind you, my uncle's like 60 something years old. It's my great uncle. You know what I'm saying? So I told my uncle, I'm like, look, man, if this motherfucker do something, we gonna have to fuck him up. And my uncle looked at me and he was like, you know, my uncle's from here. This motherfucker lives like 10 minutes from me now. So he's country. My uncle's country as fuck. My uncle was like, hey man, this motherfucker tried some shit. Look, I'm telling you now, I got 2 minutes of fighting in me. My uncle 2 minutes. Yeah, my uncle Danny, he in the 60s, man. He like, look, hey man, I got got like motherfucking 2 minutes of fighting in me, man. If this motherfucker do something, so you really gonna have to bring it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
So you got to step up.
Yeah, you really gonna have to bring it, man. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right. So if this motherfucker tries some shit, we gonna fuck him up. So we walking, right? So he takes us into like the bushes, like it's tropical plants everywhere and shit, palm trees. So he's taking us down this path through the woods or whatever, but it's like behind some houses or whatever, but it's like wooded area, almost with some tropical, plants and shit. So yeah, basically I'm on my own. So he takes us in there and he stops at like this little opening and he was like, yeah, man, this is where we smoke before our work. And I'm like, oh, okay. Shit. I was like, all right. So I'm still kind of, so we smoking or whatever. We ended up giving him $40. We gave him $40 for the weed, right?
Right.
After we smoked a little joint, a little small talk. We was going back. So me and my uncle started walking back the way we came, and my uncle was in front of me. And I turned around to make sure the guy wasn't trying nothing. And I see this motherfucker walking a totally different opposite direction. So I'm looking, he's walking the opposite direction. Like we're walking back where we came from. He's walking the opposite direction. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
So I turn around. I'm like, yo, where you going? He's like, oh, I'm done for the day, man. I'm going home. So we like, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? So me and my uncle, we go back, you know what I mean? And we start looking shit up because, we telling, Tiff and, my cousins and all them, we telling them the story. And we start looking up like the conversion rate because one of my cousins like, yeah, money is the dollar is stretch here. You know what I mean? Like the dollar is a lot here. So we start looking up I realized, man, we just gave this nigga like $1,500 his money with the $40 our money. I'm like, that's why that motherfucker was done for the day. We just fed a whole fucking village. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he just left our ass.
American dollars.
40 American dollars was like, I forgot how much it was. There's a lot of fucking money in their money.
That's wild.
And we was like, yo, we just fed a whole fucking village. So I told Tiff, I was like, fuck that. I'm putting philanthropist under my fucking resume next time. Like I'm putting philanthropist under my resume and shit from now on, man. I just fed a whole fucking for the rest of my life. I'm always gonna be that guy. Who do you know fed a whole fucking village in a foreign country? This nigga. Me.
Mr. Castro, it says here that you're a philanthropist.
Yeah, man. One time back in yeah, man, one time back in 2018, I had bought some weed in Honduras from my uncle, and I gave Buddy $40, and I didn't know, with the conversion rate. But long story short, ipso facto, I fed a whole village. You know?
With that little $40.
Right, with that little $40, fed a whole village. I think he brought like 8 loaves of bread. I think he might have got like 15 fishes. And they cooked that up and they ate good for about a month and a half. You know what I mean? So I feel real good about myself. People probably was at the brink of starvation over there. I'm not sure. But no, I was asking them because we, like I said, we was behind like a bunch of houses, and you can see houses off in the distance behind the in the jungle and shit. It's real tropical looking, like I said. And I was like, yo, how much one of these houses go for? He was like, man, you can get it for like $20,000. And I'm like, damn, you get a big ass house like this in this tropical place for $20,000. Like, can you imagine? Like, I would love to go somewhere and buy a house and have it. Like, I got a friend in Philly. My man, damn, what the fuck? I was a friend of a friend. What the fuck is his name? But he's Dominican. He got a house in Dominican Republic. You know what I mean? So every time he goes and visit, he stays in the house in the Dominican Republic or whatever.
Wow.
Right. So he got a house, he got land over there and everything else. I'm like, that's dope as shit.
Angie said, I was thinking that seemed like a bit much.
What, $40?
Well, you don't think, you figure, yo, I'm gonna hook this young boy up. He got us a little bit of, you know what I mean? He got some stuff.
I mean, because I had a dub, my uncle had a dub, and I was like, man, just give him the whole 40. Let's just get as much weed as we can with this 40. Because I figured our money, was valued more, but I didn't think it was that much more. Like,
yeah.
So it was like, yeah, we're gonna help him out. But yeah, So, speaking of sports, because you went to the Magic game, you had to go handle some business in Florida, and then a week after that, your wife surprised you with
No. So y'all know my wife is a Cowboys fan. She's from Dallas. She's from Texas.
Right.
So
yeah, sorry to hear that. It's the only thing I don't like about Bridget. Go ahead.
So what happened was she had never been to a Cowboys game. And I had tried for a while to get tickets, couldn't get them. I wanted to take my father-in-law, and it just didn't happen. So anyway, my man Madge, he just got married a couple years ago, and his wife is a Dak fan because he played for whatever college she went to.
Mississippi State.
Right, Mississippi. So anyway, he pulled some strings and got tickets, the same tickets I had for the Jaguars game, right? Because the people he worked for got them season tickets.
Okay.
So anyway, he reached out and they were like, yeah, nobody's using them here. So he texted me and texted my wife and was like, yo, I got 2 extra tickets to the Cowboys game. Of course, my wife is like, I'm going. Like, we are going. There's no way.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have told Tiff, like, whether you're going or not, like, I'm going. I'll go without you.
Yeah. So and the thing is, I was trying to give up my ticket because I wanted my father-in-law to go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I wanted him to go with her for her to experience that with her dad. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it ended up being like I called my man, like, yo, this is what I want to do. And he's like, I'm really trying to do the double date thing. So I was like, all right, cool. We'll just take the girls out.
Right.
But there was no way to get out of it. But it was a good game. It was really good. The Jaguars looked great the week before. So
I was mad Dallas didn't win that. I mean, Dallas lost that or won that game.
Dude, listen.
I was pissed the Titans didn't
bro, listen, there were four calls that if they would have even called 2 of them, that game would have went the other way.
I saw a video and it made me think of you because I knew you were at this game. I saw a video of 2 white guys, a white guy and his lady arguing. White guy and his white lady at the game. And so like it started getting more and more heated. And I think he put the girl put her hand in his face, or he put his hand in her face. And the guy she was with stepped in. I don't know if it's her husband, boyfriend, or whatever, but he stepped in and he took like a swing at the dude. And mind you, they were sitting in front of the dude, so the seats go down.
Yeah, like yeah.
The more in front, they go down the more in front you're sitting. So they're standing in front of him, so they're looking up at him a little bit, and he swings at the guy that was arguing with the lady or whatever. He swings at him, and the dude just whooped his ass, right?
Damn.
The funny thing was, he whooped his ass. I didn't even realize in the beginning of the video, the guy had a Scully on who was with the female. He had a Scully on, and when the dude started punching on him, the Scully came off, and he just had a bald head, right? And they, people kind of broke it up or whatever. And the guy that was in the front, just like him and the girl just walked up to the railing and started watching the game from the railing. And he was like, she kept turning around talking trash. And
to the dude?
The dude who just whooped her dude's ass. And she kept talking, he's still talking trash. And the funny thing was, the guy was turning to her, like trying to turn her back around to watch the game. Like, he's like, come on, watch the game. Like, nigga, I'm not about to act normal after I just got my ass whooped.
I'm out of there.
I'm not about to act normal and just watch this game after I got my ass whooped with this dude standing behind me, because security didn't come. Nobody came and kicked nobody out.
So they stayed at the game?
Yeah, they just stayed and turned the video went off. Everybody was watching the game.
I gotta watch that. I gotta find that video.
I gotta send it to you.
I gotta find it.
The video cut off because obviously it wasn't like a 3-hour long video.
Yeah.
But it was like a few minutes. The video cuts off with everybody watching the game, and they're standing at the railing. And he's trying to get her to turn around to watch the game instead of talking shit to the guy who just whooped his ass.
I'm out of there. I'm not staying for no damn game. And I'm lighting her ass up. I'm not hitting her, but I'm lighting her up outside.
I'm cursing you out from the seat to the car to the house.
Right.
Bitch, you got me in this. You got my ass whooped.
Yep.
Yeah. How many times I told you shut the fuck up?
Yep. Shut the fuck up.
Sometimes women be putting their men in situations that these niggas can. My man will fuck you up. It's like, hold up, bitch. You ain't never seen me fight before.
Right. Right.
It's like you ain't when you see me fight, how you know I can fuck him up? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Listen, when I came back from my wedding, I had a powwow with my wife about that. And I told her, I said, listen, if we ever get into a situation that's dangerous, you do what I tell you to do. If you don't do what I tell you to do, and I decide that you're not important anymore, I'm going to leave you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will.
Wait.
Straight up.
Hold the fuck up.
That's real. I told him that's real. That's real, bro.
If I decide, I don't even like that word, and you use the word decide. If I decide,
yeah, and what I mean by that is that if I'm telling you, yo,
look what Angie said.
No, that's real. Okay, so look, all right, Angie, here we go. Listen, so here's the deal, right? My job as a husband, not so much as a boyfriend, right? Like, I don't know if this applies to boyfriends, but as a husband, like, it's our job. You married now. It's our job to protect our wives at all costs. But I can't protect you if you're not listening to what I'm telling you to do, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you what I'm telling you to protect you. Right. But if you decide that it's more important for you to keep talking, and I'm really just standing there because there's no point in me being there, then I'm out. Peace. You got this. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a thing about being weak or strong. It's just like, you want to be protected, you got to give me a chance to protect you. And if I end up in the hospital, that's on me. If I end up in jail, that's on me. But you can't decide whether I'm going to the hospital or to jail. You can't. You don't get to decide that.
You don't have that right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it sounds cold-blooded, but and the funny thing is, the next week we had our first incident. The next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had that talk just in time.
Literally, bro, just in time.
So Angie
and the
said
first thing
Angie said, I completely understand men are protectors and we do need to stay out of a man's fight.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I'm telling her, it's no good if we both get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, in
the words of Kevin Hart, if we both get knocked out, who gonna wake who up?
Right, like that's an ugly situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm getting you to safety.
I can't get beat up in front of my woman.
That's the other thing I
can't talk shit to my woman and put my foot down on my woman after that. She's like, oh, you talking like that? Why you ain't talk to Raheem and them like that when they fucked you up? Like, at least, you know what I mean? So
that's a different situation.
Right. That's a different dog in the race. Like, what are you talking about?
That's genetics. First of all, that's genetics.
We all know Raheem been strong since the 3rd grade. I had to grab my charger real quick.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, we all know Raheem been strong since he had that fall, since he hit his head in the 3rd grade. He woke up with that retarded strength.
Yo, you know where I got that from though?
What's that?
That policy that I have.
What?
So when I was a kid, right? I'm about 10 years old.
Okay.
My cousins, I used to spend, no, not 10. I'm like 13, 14 years old. My mom died when I was 12. So I would spend a lot of my time with my older cousins. Like, you know, they were in 19, 20. Well, anyway, I'm spending the weekend at my cousin's, my mom's aunt's crib, my cousin's house. And me and my older cousin, man, because it was one male cousin and then 2 female cousins. So he was like, yo, I'm gonna stay here with you tonight. We're not going anywhere. We're just gonna watch movies. All right. So we watching Die Hard. And he get a phone call. He pause it. He start talking to his,
motherfucker.
Right. He gets into this argument with his girl on the phone. So I hear him saying this. I hear him saying, stop accusing me of trying to control you. I'm trying to protect you. He said, if you go down there and something pop off and you get hurt, do not call me. I'm not coming to get you. Right.
And this is in Philly, right?
This is in Philly. I'm like either 12 or 13.
Okay. Okay.
So he comes back in the living room, and I'm like, "You all right? Like, what happened?" I'm thinking he was getting ready to fight somebody. So he was like, "Look, I'm gonna tell you something." He said that that was Florida, his girl. She trying to go to this club with all these girls. I told her no, because that club would be a bunch of crazy boys down there. And I told her if something happened to her, I'm not going to pick her up. And he said, "Let me tell you something. You need to make sure that if people don't want you protecting them, you protect yourself." He told me just like that, bro. Not even 2 hours later, like the movie had just finished. Ring phone. He's like, nope. Click. Hung up on her. He kept hanging up on her. Click. Did not go pick her up. The next day, dude. The next day, I wake up to her in the house, her and him in the house, and she on top of him hitting him. Pop, 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 pop. You motherfucker. He's like, I told you I wasn't picking your ass up.
Right, I told you not to go the fuck down there.
Yeah, so basically a fight broke out. And
what's up, Nikki?
She was just standing there, and bing, she got hit. She got punched in the face some boy, and punched, like her whole side was like this, bro. Like she had a knot on the side.
But I told you not to go down there.
And he told her, he said, I told you
not to go down there.
And that was it. And then basically that day they broke up. Like that was it. I'm telling you, and ever since that's been my policy. Like, yo, if I tell you get in the car and go, then you get in the car. Don't talk, don't say nothing. I don't need you to roast, none of that. Just get in the car and go. That's it.
One time, Tiff called herself testing me with that shit. She came out of the grocery store because she had this thing where she went through self-checkout, and if she slid something across the little machine, and if it didn't beep and pick it up, she's like, I'm not doing it twice. Like, I'm putting it in the bag. So I kept telling her, and mind you, she doing this shit in Cheltenham, right? So because they have the sugar tax in Philly now. Oh, so for those of y'all who don't know what the sugar tax is, Philadelphia put a little tax on anything that has sugar in it, as far as like drinks and stuff like that. They put a tax on it. So if something was like, say a drink was like $1, it probably was like $1.60 something now with the sugar tax. Like the first, I think, and the sugar tax is supposed to go towards like the kindergarten program in the city and stuff like that. I think in the first month they made like $2 million from the sugar tax. Right. So I don't know if it's still going on. I'm pretty sure, but they had it in Philadelphia. So we were going, since we lived uptown, we were just going right over to Cheltenham and going shopping and getting, buying drinks and stuff like that for the regular price, because we're not in Philadelphia.
Right.
So I'm sitting outside in front of the grocery store waiting for her to come out. She just comes out and she's running. Right? She's running. She jumps in the car. She's like, drive, hurry up, drive. So put that shit in drive, and I pulled the fuck off. Right? I pulled the fuck off. So I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out the best route to take that my license plate is not gonna get caught on camera. So I pull off or whatever, and I'm driving. I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened? Like, you know what I mean? What's going on? She's like, nothing, nigga. I was just testing you, man. You passed. Like, I was like, what? She was like, I needed to know if some shit popped off. I need to know if I was gonna be able to trust you. You know what I mean? Or you was gonna be able to get a shot.
God.
I was like, yo, I just dodged like 2 cars, 3 shopping carts, and 2 old ladies. They get the fuck out. Matter of fact, no, we were at Alney. We was at Front and Alney at the Alney Plaza. And I'm like, yo, like I just dodged like 3 old ladies, 2 shopping carts in a car and a SEPTA bus. Like, for us to get the fuck out. What are you doing? You know what I mean? She's like, I just wanted to see if, you know what I mean, if I can count on you if shit go down. I'm like, nigga, you been through that? Like, what are you talking about? But the shit is just the shit was funny, but it was crazy at the time. Like, it was out of pocket. I don't know. So the next topic we're gonna get into, damn, we've been on 50 minutes already. Yeah. The next topic we're gonna get into is Damar Hamlin. I don't know. Damar Hamlin has become a household name in like the last 2 days, I want to say.
Yeah.
2-3 days. He's a young man, plays for the Buffalo Bills. I believe he's number 3. He's a defensive player. he's the one that collapsed on the field a couple days ago. And did you see that? I'm pretty sure everybody saw it, but
I didn't, man. I didn't even see.
Wow, where the fuck have you been?
I was in bed.
Under a rock?
I wasn't even watching the game, bro.
All right, so I'm gonna let you know. So Buffalo Bills were playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Right. So quarterback throws a pass to the wide receiver. Damar Hamlin, I believe he's a cornerback or a safety. He makes the tackle on the wide receiver. He gets up. He's like wobbly a little bit, and then all of a sudden he just falls straight back on his back, like bow.
Dang.
Like straight back, bow. So they rush out, they give him aid. Everybody assuming, like me, who's watching on TV, everybody's assuming, concussion. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy how he just dropped like that after standing up, but everybody assumed concussion. After a while, it's not just Buffalo's medical personnel. Cincinnati's medical personnel comes onto the field.
Wow.
And they're all standing around him. And then players have their backs to him. And then you see players like just bawling, crying, helmets off, crying. And you're wondering, like, what the fuck's going on? And time is going. Time is just going. You notice, like, hey, this shit happened like 5 minutes ago and we're still on the field. Hey, this shit happened like 7 minutes ago and we're still on the field. So they finally bring an ambulance on the field. And as they bring the ambulance on the field, they still work on him with the ambulance on the field. So come to find out, they had to resuscitate the guy on the field. His heart stopped. They weren't getting the pulse. He died on that field. They used a defibrillator. And brought him back to life. Right?
Wow.
Rushed him to the hospital. When they rushed him to the hospital, they got to the hospital, they had to resuscitate him in the hospital. Brought him back to life again. Right now, he's currently, they said he's breathing better. His lungs are healing. He just woke up. He can't speak. But the first thing he wrote on the paper, did we win the game?
What?
That was what
he said?
Wow. His dad said, because they were interviewing, I believe they interviewed his uncle and they interviewed his dad before, like 2 separate interviews, I believe. And his dad was saying, when my son wakes up, he's going to ask who won this game. And people were like, wow, like, how do you know? You know what I mean? And dude woke up and he was like, did we win the game? First thing he wrote on the paper was like, did we win the game? So shit was crazy. And I think they said the doctors told him, yeah, you won the game. You won the game of life, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
no, I did see a thing this morning that said that he had woken up, but that he was still really ill.
Yeah, he's just up. You know what I mean? He's just awakened. I don't think he can speak. I'm pretty sure they got tubes all in him and everything in his mouth and everything else. His breathing, they're still helping him breathe with the machines and shit like that, but he's breathing better. His lungs are healing. You know what I mean? I'm still waiting to see what the actual injury was or what caused that to happen. Was it like, is it a heart situation that they didn't catch and that they didn't know he had, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
what was it? Because when I first saw it, my immediate first thought, and I don't know if you're gonna remember this guy, but my immediate first thought was Hank Gathers.
Immediately, that's the first thing I thought of when I heard of it.
So if you don't know Hank Gathers, great basketball player from Philadelphia, went out to California. I forgot what basketball team he's playing for out there. I think it was Mount something. I know a fun fact: Eric Spoelstra, the coach of the Miami Heat, was on that basketball team with him.
Was he?
Yes.
Really? I never knew that.
Eric Spoelstra was a member of that team with Hank Gathers.
Wow.
He was there. Hank Gathers, they had a game and he collapsed on the basketball court and died. He's buried. I want to say he's buried less than 20 feet from my grandfather in Sharon Hill and outside of Philadelphia.
That's crazy.
But yeah, he collapsed on the basketball court and died. And this was what, the 90s when Hank Gathers died? Was it the 90s?
90s.
Okay, yeah. All right. So 90s when Hank Gathers died. But you know, growing up in Philly, you always hear about it. They got a recreational center named after him down on Diamond Street. You know what I mean? The whole neighborhood the older generation remembers Hank Gathers. That's where he was from. I want to say he was from the same project as my grandfather, the Raymond Rosen project on Diamond Street. But anyway, that's the first thing. That's the first thing I thought of was Hank Gathers when I saw this guy collapse on the field. So I'm wondering, it's like a heart condition. What's going on? Also, I saw a commentator looked like he was from like the local debate show from like whatever city around the United States. And he brought up the fact that this guy may need extensive care after the fact for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? Like he it's a high chance that he may never play football anymore. And he was saying the NFL's disability I guess program or whatever is very low. I think it gives them like $2,000 to $4,000 a month. And it used to be like $22,000 a month or something like that. And he was just bringing up all this stuff because it is fucked up, the disability system with the NFL and shit like that. It is kind of fucked up. But the fucked up part about the whole situation to me is you can get mad at the NFL for having these policies, the disability policy and all that shit, and they're only giving you $2,000 to $4,000 or whatever. But what you have to understand is the NFL has a union.
Yeah.
The NFL players have a union. The NFLPA, the Players Association, they have a union, just like the NBA has a union. They agreed on this. The players agreed to this.
Right.
So it's hard to kind of just fully blame the NFL when the players agreed to this.
I think it's very hard to have that argument because they agreed to it. Yeah.
All right. I thought it was just me, being because I'll admit it. Sometimes in life I can be insensitive.
That's not an insensitive thing to say. I don't think.
Okay, because it's like the NFL. You can't get so mad. You can't get so mad at the NFL because they agreed to this. This is something they agreed upon. They
wanted
the contract. I wouldn't say they wanted it per se.
Yeah, they did because they agreed to it. If they didn't want it, they wouldn't have agreed to it. Ultimately, it's like we'll take it.
It's all negotiations between the NFL and NFLPA. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm sure it was one of the cons, and it was many pros to every other thing they agreed to. So I think it was just something that they lost in the negotiation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just took that loss with everything else. No, don't associate me with that guy. I was actually about to that. I was actually about to bring him up next.
I saw the clip this morning of Shannon lighting his ass up for the second time.
Oh, I was about to say which one because this
week, the one about the kid, the kid from the Bills.
Yeah, but that's not the first time they went at it this week, and then Shannon didn't show up for like Tuesday's show. So,
I haven't seen that. The one I saw is the one where he was like, "You won't even let me finish my monologue before you got to come in and say something." Skip.
Okay, so it was about Damar Hamlin. They had a dust up on the show like a week or 2 weeks ago because
the Tom Brady thing.
Yeah, and he was saying that he's greater than Shannon Sharp. So it's like after Shannon, after this Damar Hamlin shit happened, Skip put out a tweet that was very disrespectful. At least I thought. I forgot exactly what the tweet said, but it was a horrible tweet. So I'm gonna try to find the tweet. But it was a horrible tweet. And a lot of people were offended by it, including Shannon Sharp. So they talked about it today, and they had a little little back and forth. Hold up, we try to because I wanted to
find it.
I wanted to play. I got it. But I wanted to I want to play it because I don't want to.
Shannon was tearing his ass up this morning, and he cut the girl off too. He's like, "Come on, whatever."
Okay. There you go. Good, let's go, Jen. Okay, I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting. Okay. You could have came back, Skip. Skip, just let out. No, I'm just going to say, Skip, I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting, okay? I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet. No.
Nobody.
Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations. So clearly,
He threw him under the bus.
Nobody, let's go, Jen.
He cut him out. Let's go, Jen.
Go ahead, Jen. I love that she started talking, and then again he's like, "Yeah, exactly."
And then the crazy thing is, to me, for him to sit there and say nobody had a problem with my tweet.
Shannon said, "Clearly the bosses." Damn, he went straight to it.
Clearly the bosses want you to explain yourself.
Yeah, he went to it, bro. You know what's funny? Can I say something that's probably gonna sound?
I don't
stupid?
even know what I was. I don't even know where the pause was at. I was just talking.
Yo, listen. Is it funny or sad that right after I listened to that this morning, I was like, "Oh, I got to see if Corey Holcomb responded to this." Because Corey been tearing Shannon ass up balls all over the place. You been seeing him on the little clips.
Yeah, I've been seeing Corey on this podcast.
I like Corey, man.
Like I like
funny.
Corey Holcomb too. I feel like Corey Holcomb is one of the comedians that really didn't, I want to say, sell out. You know what I mean? Like Kevin Hart is the guy that, white people love Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna have him in all the movies, and you know what I mean?
Hollywood loves him.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like it's more funny black comedians than Kevin Hart. Me personally, I think, and people have disagreed with me real bad, but me personally, I think Cat Williams is funnier than Kevin Hart to me. The stand-ups.
I do think that Cat is funnier, and it's not even that he's funny. It's just they're two different styles of comedy. Like for instance, the argument of him versus Epps. To me, I like Epps' style more. Kevin's funny, very funny, but to me, Epps appeals to me more. Now, granted, lately Epps has been recycling his jokes.
Egregious and Kathy Lee.
You know what I'm saying? He's been recycling some stuff, but I still like Epps a little bit better than I like Kev.
Yeah, as far as stand-ups.
And to me, who your top three black comics? How about you, Fully Loaded Films? Who's your top three black comics?
Before we get into what's the next topic? Hold on.
My bad.
No, you good. You good. Oh, the Shannon. Before we get back on the Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, my top three comics of all time is the funniest man to ever live, which is, in my opinion, Richard Pryor.
Egregious and Kathy Lee.
Yeah, Egregious and Kathy Lee is hilarious. So, Richard Pryor.
Okay. No. I'm saying like this era.
Right. Oh, like right now.
Right now.
I'm gonna say right now, I would say Deion Cole, Earthquake.
Oh, yeah. Definitely my top three.
Bill Burr.
Black.
Oh. Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, all right. No, well, he's married to a black chick, so
yeah. I would probably say Corey Holcomb or Cat Williams. Okay. I would say Cat Williams.
Well, Cat, yeah. Right. Okay, I got you. I can respect that.
So
cool.
Yeah,
so my bad. Let's go back to
Cat Williams. Who did I say? Cat Williams, Deion Cole, and Earthquake.
Mine's is Earthquake, Chappelle, Rock.
Yeah, Chappelle too.
Yo, dude. So a friend of mine,
Chris Rock has a new stand-up coming out soon.
Yeah, my friend saw him in Denver, bro. He said he's at epic level, like bigger, blacker, better level, like epic. Chris Rock.
Really?
Buddy of mine saw him at the comedy spot in Denver.
Yeah.
He was like, bro, if this dude does this material on his next special, he's going back to he's already a legend. He's gonna go right back into that legendary. Now it's just like where are we putting him at?
In Mont's
He
defense,
said it was that good.
In Mont's defense, only rich niggas got friends in Denver. I'm just saying.
Whatever, man. In Mont's defense. Well, Rogan said it too. A couple guys have said it that he's back to pretty much rare form. So
that's great. I would love to see. Yeah. Hold up, man.
Earthquake is to me. Earthquake is the most underrated comedian.
Hold on. Before you say it again.
Oh, who the fuck made him the TMZ correspondent?
Your friend saw who and where?
Well, a friend of mine was in Denver last weekend and he ran into he was at the Chris Rock show. Apparently Chris is back. He's looking great, man. He's back to legendary status once again. So
take it away, egregious.
There's a rumor going around that Chappelle, Rock, and Rogan are all going out on the road together. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to get a suit or anything.
Yo.
He's never been legendary.
He's never not been legendary. I mean,
exactly.
It's Chris Rock, of course.
No, but what I'm saying is he's back, like in the conversation.
I have yet to see people go, yo, have you seen that Chris Rock stand up? Yeah, Jones like bust. I've never watched the Chris Rock stand up where it's busted gut funny to me.
What? The first one, the one where he's talking about it's a war going on between black people. That bit is what made him a legend. Like, at least in my mind.
It's been shit that's been funny. He has stand-ups that's been funny, but I've never, like, I'm not comparing him to Steve Harvey, but I never watched a Steve Harvey stand-up and it was like my stomach hurt.
No, me neither.
You know who else is funny as shit that nobody talks about? It's a lot of black funny ass comics, man.
Yeah.
Lavelle Crawford is one of the funniest motherfuckers.
Dude, I saw
Fat Lavelle Crawford.
I saw him here 3 years ago at Zany's. There wasn't a minute of silence. I've seen Earthquake 4 times here in Nashville at Zany's.
Oh, who the fuck made him the TMZ correspondent?
Come on, man. I told y'all I like to go to the comedy club. I'm a stand-up fan, bro.
Me too, bro. I gotta go to Columbia, man. Columbia has a good comedy club.
Yo, like speaking of which, I gotta hit mine up because my favorite white comedian is going to Philly, and I want to encourage Mont to go.
Who is that?
Mont, if you watch, his name's Chris Porter. Mont, if you watching, I will pay for them tickets, bro. You got to go see that boy. He's funny as hell. His name is Chris Porter.
Where he performing at the Punchline or something in Philly?
I guess. Or what? Isn't it called the Laugh House? Or is that not a thing anymore?
I think it's one in Philly called the Laugh House. I'm not sure. I know it's definitely the Punchline is a place where a lot of comedians be going. And
Punchline is South Street, right?
I think so.
Or South Street was the Laugh House. I can't remember either.
I think South Street was the Laugh House.
I've seen so many dude, we saw me, my wife, Nikki Lanes and his lady. We went and saw
shout out to my man Nikki Lanes, man, friend of the show, man. Shout out to my boy Nikki Lanes. Probably sleep right now because you got to be up in 2 hours to go to
bed. And his girl had the baby last week, so he.
Oh, yo! Shout out to Nikki Lanes, man. Yeah. Congratulations, bro. I don't know if you're watching or you gonna see this, but congratulations on the baby, bro. Happy for y'all.
He'll see it in the morning when because he usually listens to it on Friday mornings on his way to work.
That's what's up, man.
But shout me and my wife and them went to go see Bob Saget the month before he died. Crazy.
You saw Bob a month before he died
at Zany's, and he was
Saget
funny as shit.
Saw Bob Saget a month before he died.
Oh, who the fuck made him the TMZ correspondent?
Ma, you tripping? Ma, I told you whenever you ready, I will holler at Southwest. Stop playing with me.
I don't know if you want to holler at Southwest right now. I mean, I don't know. You might have to mail your stuff ahead of time to fuck with Southwest.
Right. The 10,000 bags or something.
Go with no bags. Like
one ticket at a time, egregious. One ticket at a time.
Yeah, he's saying you can't give him the ticket to the comedy show without giving him the ticket to the
I'd rather do the Southwest one. I'd rather do the Southwest
one ticket at a time, egregious. Yeah.
Yo, you know who else is funny and nobody a lot of black people don't really care for him, at least black people I've talked to about him, is Burris. A lot of black people are mad at him because of the Bill Cosby thing too, but he's funny as shit.
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress. He is hilarious.
I'm not gonna say he's not funny. I never really watched him. I'm not gonna say he's not funny, but niggas don't watch him unless he's in a movie.
Yeah. It's crazy how many, and then there's a lot of people because he was the one that exposed the Bill Cosby thing. He's the comedian that talked about it in Philly on stage.
And that's who that is.
Angie.
That's mine with the Fully Loaded Films.
Yeah, that's Chocolate Baldy. I'll make it last forever. I'm sorry, I
He said put him on Northwest Airlines, egregious.
Is there a Northwest Airlines?
Hell no, man. But
so anyway, my bad. Burris is funny. Anyway, I'm gonna send you some clips of Burris. I'll be sending y'all comedy clips, and I feel like y'all don't watch them because y'all don't even. I don't even get like a Meech said thumbs up.
I gotta no. See, the thing about it, I'm not really on my phone like that too heavy at work.
I respect that.
No, it's not even it's not because of fucking work.
You breaking up fights.
It's not because of work. Yeah, I mean, you break up a fight here and there. You know what I mean? But it's because I don't get any service in the school.
I don't either. Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't get service at the school I work at, especially in my office. It's like a dead zone. Like I have no bars in my office whatsoever. So I tell people to call me on my office phone rather than my cell phone because I don't have any bars in there.
Mom say you ain't got no bars on the songs either. Oh shit, yo, don't let him do that, Meech. Hey,
yeah, son. Where'd you find this one?
I'm joking, Meech.
Damn, son, where'd you find this one?
Right. Whose kid is this?
Right. But
whose kid you say this was?
But no, yeah. So you know what I mean. So that's why I'll have to watch it later on, or you know what I mean. I'll forget to go back and watch it. But
yeah.
What she say? I'm mad I ain't get. Oh, she mad she didn't get her theme music tonight. I'm gonna get them to send it to me. But yeah, this whole Skip Bayless thing, I think they're gonna have to get rid of him. I think Shannon is more valuable to the show than Skip right now. When they first started the show, Skip was more well.
Shannon was terrible.
I think Shannon found himself over, you know what I mean, over the last couple of years he's been doing this show. He's gotten better and better. It's not so much of the antics anymore as far as coming on the show with a bottle of Hennessy in front of him and a Black and Mild in his mouth or popping weed gummies. Like Fox let him get away with a lot of shit that ESPN Disney would have hung him, got rid of a motherfucker. I've seen it. You know what I mean? Jamel Hill gone.
They definitely let him get away with it.
The dude that she used to do the show with gone. You know what I mean? A lot of people just be on ESPN one day and go on the next. Skip Bayless gone.
He's about to be.
I'm happy that he doesn't have to do the antics anymore. You know what I'm saying? And he can just get on there and debate. And he actually can hold his own and he makes good points. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you had people like Ryan Hollins who come on ESPN. Ryan Hollins is an ex bench player, NBA player. He came on ESPN and he was arguing with Shaq, and I forgot who else it was on First Take, and he said LeBron, and I mean he got the right to believe this, but he said LeBron is the greatest ever, and he said Michael Jordan and Kobe couldn't fill LeBron's shoes, and everybody lost their fucking minds. Even like I lost my mind when he said it too. It's like, bro, I agree with you a little bit on the argument of LeBron is the best ever, but that is not the argument. That's not what you want to say to try to win this argument. What?
Yeah,
these motherfuckers have 5 and 6 championships apiece. Michael won 3 in a row twice, and you gonna tell me that LeBron can't fill their shoes and he only has 4? Like that's a horrible argument. But so people like him don't last on ESPN, and that's why he's not on there anymore. So Shannon really showed he can hold his own on Fox, and I think he's more valuable to that show now than Skip. And it was vice versa at the beginning, but not right now. So I think they're gonna put Skip off the show.
That could happen. A lot of people were mad.
I think because he's not taking it down. At least that's what he said. He's sticking to it, and he upset a lot of people. Now, mind you, Kyrie Irving was suspended and had to jump through hoops after posting the link to a documentary on Amazon, which Amazon still hasn't taken down.
Yeah.
All he didn't say anything. He just posted a link, and he had to beg for forgiveness and all that shit to come back to play basketball with the Brooklyn Nets. And Skip just out. So it's like, bro, you can't tell me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's there, bro. People are treated differently, man.
They are. That's obvious. Obviously,
that's what I'm saying. It's so obvious. You see what I'm saying? It's so obvious. But
I do agree with you though that now Shannon has that power. I believe that. I'll tell you what. I'm checking tomorrow again to see if at least Kwame says something. Kwame Brown said he looked like
Mama's
Dracula.
cooking. Mama's cooking. Who looks like Dracula?
He said that he said Skip Bayless looked like a dried up Count Dracula.
He does.
A dried up Count Chocula, he said. Or Dracula.
First of all,
he said, "You blood sucking mother."
When I was a kid, because you gotta remember I'm a little younger than you and Mont.
Right.
When I was a kid, a movie came out with Dave Chappelle and Norm Macdonald and Danny DeVito. Right?
Right.
And it had Sherman Helmsley in that movie. I don't know if you remember.
Your uncle. Talking about it, dads.
It was a rich old white woman. I forgot her name, but she's a very famous actress. It was a rich old white woman, and she was the pie like tycoon. Like she had millions and millions of dollars, and she made pies. And Norm Macdonald played like her little butler. And they set up a thing to kidnap the dog, and ended up kidnapping the woman. And
oh shoot,
Sherman Helmsley was like the old lady's little boyfriend or whatever.
Right.
And it was a point in the movie where Dave Chappelle, when he would get nervous, he would pick stuff up and hit people with
it. Okay. What's the name of the movie?
Oh God. I forget. I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. So at the end, Dave Chappelle him and Norm Macdonald are getting confronted by Sherman Helmsley, and he's getting nervous. He picks up a lamp and cracks Sherman Helmsley over the head with it. Right.
Right.
So, and this time he was the hero. Right. And he looks at the camera and he goes, "Never trust a black guy named Skip."
What?
Because that was
I see that. What
that was the name. That was the Screwed. That's the name of the movie.
Screwed.
It's Norm Macdonald, Dave Chappelle, and Danny DeVito. Funny ass, underrated movie.
All right, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's like the early 2000s. But anyway,
is that our movie of the week to check out?
We can say that. Screwed is the movie of the week.
Screwed, movie of the week. It's got to be on
Dave
one of the
Chappelle,
platforms.
Norm Macdonald, and Danny DeVito. Screwed is the movie of the week, and we will talk about Screwed next week.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I was thinking too, I think I mentioned this before. I want to grab a series, right? Because we're talking about making this thing like a conversational thing, like you always say at the beginning. I want to pick a show that we watch, and at least once an episode, just kind of, what y'all think? What you think, Angie? Whoever else is watching, what y'all think of that? Because I guess I subconsciously got the idea from Tony Baker, because you know he does the movies on Patreon.
Yeah, he does. He does.
You can watch, and he does the commentary.
He does the commentary, and he does movie recaps. And
yeah. Now I'm not saying watch the show on the pod. I'm saying watch it during the week and then come back and talk about each episode, that kind of thing. Because I got my father-in-law to watch Boardwalk Empire, and he finished it in like 2 weeks.
I love Boardwalk Empire, yo.
It's a
Nucky Thompson and all them.
Great show.
So listen, this was for Nikki. This was the tweet Skip Bayless said after Damar Hamlin got injured playing the Cincinnati Bengals. He said, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season's outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. Now, this dude is laying on the field dying, and you're on here worried about the NFL and how we're going to finish this game and all that shit. Fuck this game. It's a man on the field dying, bro.
That's
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that and like I said, I'll read it again. There's no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season's outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So he's like I said, this dude is sitting on a field dying, and you're worried about the regular season outcome in this game and everything. Fuck this game. Everybody else even the players, everybody else is like, fuck this game.
Yeah. Right.
The NFL maybe wanted to play, but you got to remember
they wouldn't have played anyway.
The NFL is a business, so the NFL wanted them to play.
Yeah, the players probably was like,
players were like, the players said no, and then the coaches were like, no.
Right. Because if the players walk off, you ain't got a game.
You don't have a fucking game. So if the players say no, then no. But no one's worried about the game. No one's worried about the outcome. We can reschedule this. We can do this. We're the NFL. We can reschedule shit.
Right. Push the game back a month and a half, 2 months from now.
Right. So the shit he said was insensitive at the time because nobody was worried about that fucking nobody was worried about the game anymore when this man is on the field and you got players that are crying. So
I'm laughing at the comment.
Mont said, why I'm putting that shit on Facebook? No disrespect to nobody, man. But white people
screenshot that.
White people get ghoulish after 35. yo,
stupid,
no.
Why
are because if you've never seen the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver.
Yeah.
If you have never seen the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, please go on Google and look up Adam Silver. This is the most ghoulish human being I have ever seen in my life. And it's like, this is no makeup. This is nothing. He just naturally looks ghoulish. Never seen nothing like that before. Dave Chappelle be like, I was scared. Yeah,
I was scared.
I was scared. That was his line in that. I was scared. And then he hit him. He was like, never trust a black man named Chip.
I feel like I have seen that though. Sounds good as long as it's good. Hopefully
it's funny. It's funny, almost stupid funny, but it's funny. It's a good movie. You can watch it. I think it's like an hour. It's not like a long ass movie.
I don't know how many of our listeners would get
that's why I love Mont so much, man. Mont has seen all the dumb shit I've seen. Like nobody's seen Screwed before. Mont has.
I have seen it.
I think it was insensitive at the time because everybody's concerned about the guy on the field dying, and you just come out talking about the game. It's like, fuck that right now. You know what I mean? That's like somebody getting shot in front of the Poppy store. And somebody's standing out there watching this dude, watching the paramedics work on this dude on the ground in front of the Poppy store. And you're like, damn, man, I hope they open later on tonight.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, damn, this nigga's dying right here. And you worried about the Poppy store going to be open tonight?
Yo, let me jump in for a second, right? You have a great point, and I agree with you. But listen to this, right? Here's a scenario. Do you think, for one, if this is a white player, that Skip's reaction is different, number one, and number two, do you think that people were coming down harder on Skip because there has already been comments that he is always talking down on black players? Which one of those two you think is more the cause of the cancellation right now?
I don't think black people trust white people from the South anyway.
Okay, that's fair.
As like a whole already.
That's fair.
Skip is from Texas.
Right.
His favorite college is Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? His favorite basketball team is the Cowboys. His favorite football team is the Cowboys. His favorite basketball team is the San Antonio Spurs. Mm-hmm. Just because I've been watching Skip since First Take, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's the only reason why I know these things.
But he's had a lot of clashes with black athletes.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah, I remember when who told him I'm better at life than you? I forgot.
Richard Sherman, I think.
Was it Richard Sherman?
I think it was Richard Sherman.
Because and the crazy thing is, like, I think he said something about Richard Sherman only being a good player or successful because he's athletic. And Richard Sherman was like, do you not know I graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA? Like, do you not know I left Compton, California, and got a scholarship academically to go to Stanford?
Stanford, right? Yeah.
Like, my scholarship wasn't football. You know what I'm saying?
It was an academic scholarship, right?
Right. And he was like, Richard Sherman's a smart individual.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, Skip has it. I think it's a melting pot of all things that happen. Like,
yeah. I got you on that.
This was just like another dumb thing that he did because people always attack Skip for the shit he says or shit he does or whatever. And people already didn't like him on First Take. So when he left, people were like, okay, cool. And then he went over here and did a show with Shannon. And I was one of them. I'm like, I'm not watching this bullshit. It's called First Things First. I think it's called or something like that.
First Take.
No,
it's not First Take.
First Take is the ESPN show with Stephen A.
Oh, right.
That Skip came from. So when Shannon and Skip started their show on Fox, I think it's called First Things First. But I was like, this is like, just a ripoff of the show you just came from on ESPN. I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
But as the show went on, it actually got good, so I started watching it. You know what I mean? But I think they're definitely
it's called Undisputed.
That's what it is, Undisputed. The show before that had Chris Carter, and because it would come on early in the morning, it had Chris Carter and the white dude with the weird nose from Fox. I forget his name. They had a show called First Things First.
Yeah.
This shit is just, and this is when Fox started coming out with these shows, because before these shows, Fox didn't have like sports shows like this, debate shows. So I'm like, they're just copying off of ESPN. I'm not watching this shit. So he's the problem with the league itself. They don't value the men who risk it all every week. They don't.
You're right.
Yeah, I think they just look at the players as just, the entertainment that puts butts in the seats and money in their pockets. They don't look at them as human beings. They just look at them because these are billionaires.
Right.
You gotta understand, if you own a football,
they can't even look at humans.
Relate.
Right?
Can't relate to regular human beings.
Exactly.
People who are coming from college eating ramen noodles, and you're giving them these rookie deals, which are only a couple $1 million a year, if that. And then they get like big deals. It's see, but it's hard. He says Adam Silver is senior ghoul. It's hard. Wasn't Skip raised by black women? I don't think so.
Unless she was the nanny.
Yeah, comment was definitely bad timing, but yeah.
I don't think Skip's a racist. I just think he says dumb shit.
I can't,
and he doesn't have.
It's hard for me to call people slaves when you have people like Patrick Mahomes now who has a $500 million contract. When you have Russell Wilson, who just signed for $250 million contract to go to Denver. Like, that's some expensive fucking slave. That's some rich slaves. And they're not forced to do it. They're not being forced to do it. And like, they're not being forced to do it.
No, I heard a breakdown, a legitimate argument.
Oh, go ahead. I want to hear it. I want to
hear
it.
I don't even want to get it.
You might change my perspective.
No, because
we'll be here for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say this. And I not that I buy into this, but I heard this from someone, right? We were talking and somebody said this to me. They said, think of it this way. If you believed that somehow that could be a slave shit, think of it. This is what would confirm it, right? And I said, all right, well, what is it? And he goes, think of it this way. The billionaires that are worth $10-15 billion, $250 million is peanuts to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they still feel like the master because no matter what, you're never gonna reach. So it's like, what do you want? 250? Yeah, here. Yeah, here. Go put your life on the line. Go. And I thought that was an interesting take. Now, again, I don't buy that, but I was like, yeah, I guess if I agreed with you on that, if I agreed with that state of mind, you could sell me by saying that those guys still behind closed doors call the black players boy and all this stuff. I guess I don't really buy into it, but I see where but then you got the players, their money's not guaranteed, right? So what happens when they injure themselves and they can't play again and they can't breathe normal and they can't
they have a certain amount of money that's guaranteed in their contract.
Yeah, but again, that's nothing because of the healthcare in this country.
Right.
But again, they agreed to it. So of course the abuser is gonna get, let you.
Do you feel that way about basketball as well? Like the NBA?
I'd have to say the same thing, baseball, football, and basketball, because with baseball, we're talking about how these baseball teams are now building facilities in Cuba and Puerto Rico and Honduras and all these places, and they're adopting these kids into these things so that they can eventually farm them into the U.S.
Yeah. Well, that's what they already. So look at Yasiel Puig. Yasiel Puig floated to America on the fucking raft.
Exactly.
With his brother to come here and play baseball.
Now, good for him because now he's set for life. If he manages his money well, but I don't know. That's a theory that there's got to be some truth to it.
It's but you got players like LeBron and Jordan who are billionaires,
right? Well, but here's the thing. Let's slow down for a second. Let's slow down with that bullshit for a second. Just because Forbes says people are billionaires, not billionaires. They may be billionaires in terms of, for instance, okay, Jeff Bezos has $1 billion in cash money, in liquid cash. Right. Michael Jordan does not.
Right.
Michael Jordan would have to sell. He would have to sell his stocks. He would have to. Right. Where
everything. I got what you're saying.
To me, a billionaire is, do you have $1 billion in liquid cash?
Right.
And somebody that's worth $500 million told me that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm worth this much, right? And I was like, all right, but how much of that is assets? He said, no. I'm worth this much. My assets is another, 100 and whatever. But it's do not hit that TMZ thing.
Oh, who the fuck made him a TMZ correspondent?
But it makes sense, right? It makes perfect sense.
It does. It makes sense. It makes complete sense. You know what I'm saying?
It does. I'm gonna send you a picture later to confirm the story I just told you. But it does make sense, right?
Mm-hmm. It definitely makes sense.
Yeah, and in that same conversation with some other gentleman and a lady that kind of have money, they were talking about Lambos, right? And they were saying that there's an unwritten rule amongst people that are in the 100 million club, because there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy, right? So they were just saying that, like, if you're $50 to $100 million, the concept behind having a Lamborghini or a Bentley is, if you can't afford to buy one for every day of the week, you can't afford to have one.
If you can't afford to do what? Say it again.
If you can't afford to have, for instance, let's say that your favorite car is a Bugatti Veyron, right? It's $2.3 million or something like that. So they were telling me it's an unwritten rule that if you can't afford to buy one for every day of the week, that you can't afford to have one, which was interesting to me. But
that's kind of a good
but
thing.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Because people don't realize, like, one thing I do with my students, right? I have this whole lesson I teach on perception. And I immediately start by saying, what's your favorite car? Somebody always yells Lamborghini, right? So, all right, so here's a Lamborghini. I'll pull one up. I'll put it up on the big screen. Yeah, that's the one right there. All right, cool. How much it costs? Boom, boom, boom. And then I start breaking down how much it costs for an oil change, how much it costs to maintain it. The tire. When
This is something we need Mon on, because even where he work at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. My dad too. You know, my dad was in the car business for 30 years.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so like a Lambo after 5,000 miles, the whole engine has to be serviced, and it has to be taken out completely out of the car, washed, cleaned a certain way, this, that, and the other.
How many miles?
At every 5,000.
Okay, wow.
Every 5,000 miles. Right?
Okay. And you said Washington what?
Oh, it has to be cleaned out, serviced, completely like taken apart and put back together. And imagine that's 20, 30 grand right there just to do that. And then the tires are $5,000 a piece. The cheap tires are $5,000 a piece.
Right.
So that's another 20 grand. So by the end of it, they're like, oh, you forget that. I don't want this. So remember when there was a couple years back, the dude Yo Gotti had given some new artists, he signed a Lambo as his thing. And the kids were all like, blah, blah. I'm like, he just bought that kid a problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So
I think it was Young Dolph gave his Lambo to a fan in Texas, and I was like, I would have instantly. I remember saying when he gave it to him, I would have instantly sold that Lamborghini. Instantly. I would have drove it. I would have drove it for a day or two, like drove it around just to say I drove a Lambo.
I'd have drove it for a day.
Yeah, I want to drive it, and then I'm gonna sell this shit because there's no use.
There's no there's no use at all. So I don't know. Where were we even going with that? Oh yeah.
I think they did sell it though, by the way.
That's smart. But yeah, I don't know. Cost of ownership on stuff like that. People don't realize that. Same thing with these, it's like when people are like, oh, Kanye's a billionaire. And then all of a sudden he has all these problems and he's not a billionaire anymore. Well, he wasn't who the fuck is worth $1 billion and then in a week?
It's gone.
It's gone. You know why it's gone? Because those are completed contracts. The contracts are worth that much money.
The assets, everything that's in the company and all that shit, that makes them worth $1 billion. But I understand what you mean. He doesn't have $1 billion in cash right now.
Right.
He can just go having.
Right, like with the Twitter thing. Elon Musk goes basically liquid cash.
Mm-hmm.
How is that even possible? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's
big money right
wealth.
Yeah.
It's
beyond wealth.
Yeah, beyond wealth. Dude,
that is beyond wealth. These niggas are going to first of all, if you ain't going to space, motherfuckers, you ain't no goddamn billionaire. You ain't going to space.
Hey, you know I'm about to go hit Mars next week.
Yeah, nigga, tell me what the constellation look like, motherfucker. You can't. Okay? You can't. You ever took a picture? You ever took the selfie with the constellations? No, nigga.
No.
No, you ain't never took a selfie with constellations, motherfucker.
Oh, there's so much more I want to talk about, but I know we got to get out. All right, I'm going to put it in the topics because I got something we need to talk about next time.
Okay. You save it for next week. I'm cool.
It's about Balenciaga.
Oh my God.
We'll talk about that later.
That's so last spring. What is that? The fall collection? Balenciagas.
This boy.
But,
oh yeah, my bad. We're gonna keep going.
Oh, Balenciaga. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Damn you, Mitchell. Mortimer, we're back. What's that from? What movie's that from? Oh, you too young. Never mind. You too young.
First of all, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Mortimer, we're back is coming to America. Mortimer and Randolph are from Trading Places.
Yes,
one of
sir.
my favorite fucking movies.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Turn those machines back on.
And it was filmed in our home city.
For sure. Definitely filmed in Philadelphia with them old ass SEPTA buses. Jamie Lee Curtis had them nice young 1980 titties that she was pulling out back then. But
I used to watch that movie a lot. I did.
I bet you did. That scene you did.
Very right.
But,
I know it's 42 minutes in.
So next week when we come back on Thursday, everybody's gonna have watched Screwed, and we're gonna talk about Screwed. It's a movie with Dave Chappelle, Norm Macdonald, and who is it? Danny DeVito. Of course, Red loves Trading Places. But we're gonna watch Screwed, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about Screwed next Thursday when we have our show. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Unghoulish tits.
Yes, they were quite unghoulish.
We appreciate everybody tuning in with us, man. It's been another installment of the Reggie Bucum Podcast, man. Happy New Year to everybody. All our viewers, Happy New Year to Pete, man. It's my guy. Happy New Year, Mont. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us. We appreciate y'all spending time. Red, Nikki, or Angie. I call her Red. But Red, Nikki, Mont, everybody else that's tuning in with us. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all same time, 7 p.m. next week?
7 p.m.
Eastern time, you know what I'm saying? Every Thursday, 7 p.m. is Reggie Bucum. Remember to share the YouTube channel, share the videos, your mom, dad, brother, sister, cousins, friends, whoever, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. Remember to hit the notifications button so y'all won't miss when we do go live. And remember to check out our social media pages, man. On Instagram is Reggie Bucum Podcast. On Facebook is just Reggie Bucum. And we appreciate y'all tuning in with us and fucking with us once again this week, man. And I don't know, Pete, you got anything else before we get out of here? We will.
Nope. Oh, I have a podcast called 10 Second Gems, 10 Second Gems. It's on Spotify and on YouTube. If you want to check out, there's some good episodes on there. If not, fuck you.
No, it's definitely. 10 Second Gems was a dope podcast, or is a dope podcast. Me and Mont used to listen and crack up to it. I used to listen to it at work, when I was at Rite Aid and shit like that. But, for real.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
When I was at Rite Aid, bro, I used to listen to our podcast and yours. That was only two podcasts for I was listening to. I used to listen to $1 Million Worth of Game. I kind of fell off with that podcast. It wasn't like I didn't like it. I just stopped listening. But yeah, so 10 Second Gems is definitely a dope podcast. Y'all should go check that shit out. It's on Apple Podcast, Spotify, all that good stuff, man. Check out my man Pete, man. But eventually he had to come over to the dark side.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it. I
had to
love
come
it.
over to the
I
dark
want
side.
more of it.
And I got a feeling Mike gonna hit you with a pause. But yeah, man, and
he is now.
Don't forget to go over, man, and check out the Gas Chamber Battle League. It's a rap battle league that I co-own. Me and my man OG Benny, who's definitely a friend to the show, to the Reggie Bucum Podcast. But go check out Gas Chamber Battle League. I got some interviews with some battle rappers on there and stuff like that. So the Gas Chamber Battle League, gas with 2 A's. And look forward to we got more shows coming in February. So we got an event coming in February. So I'm excited about that. And we're gonna see you guys next Thursday, man. 7 p.m. Same place, same time. We out of here.
Yeah.